Hello, welcome to the final with Everton 1, Manchester City 3 at Goodison Park. This is a scoreline that's been quite a regular one at Goodison over the last 5 or 6 years. They are a couple of goal margin victory for Man City, and this is how it played out yesterday. It was a disappointing night really at Goodison Park, but Merry Christmas to everyone. Ped, going into this one after a narrow defeat. I mean, just very quickly, we didn't do a final word for Spurs just because of the way Christmas was. How did you think we did at Tottenham at the weekend?
I thought we were tremendous.
Did you?
No, I thought we were tremendous. I thought we were tremendous. I thought for 10 minutes we switched off and it cost us the game. But I thought we were tremendous, and it gave you a little bit of hope going into this game. That even with a depleted squad and that tiredness that we'd be able to find something for this one, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the opening 20 minutes at Tottenham we were shocking defensively. I thought offensively we were all right, but they could have really been 3-0 up. Brennan Johnson missed an absolute sitter, and we switched off for the goals. I mean, we had a warning after 40 seconds where they just broke down the left and the lad had a shot. But we did recover really well, and Dan Juma was not a midgie's cock away from getting us a point. If the goalie wasn't there, it was a goal. Well, I know it sounds a bit Mike Cosgrove to say that, but what I mean is hit the bar and hit his thigh. But he'd missed one where he should have squared it as well. But that did give us hope that we'd had a good go there. Yeah. But I did think we did look a little bit leggy in the opening 20 minutes at Spurs, and then I was thinking, we're playing against a team that you can't really be leggy against because they're so good. But going into this one, obviously, the manager made a change up front. Beto started over Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think that was the right decision. I think Dom hasn't scored for, 7-8 games now, and you just sometimes have to freshen up that front line. Andre Gomez, who we saw come back into the action at the weekend and do really well, to be fair, at Tottenham. He started off the striker, which I thought was the correct decision as well. We had James Coleman back on the bench, which was good news for us as well. We lost to Idrissa Gana Gueye, and actually in this game, Ped, I think he was a big miss, even if he'd have just been a sub that you could have put on for legs in that. And City settled, as you would expect, in the opening 5 or 10 minutes. They got hold of the game. But what I did think Everton did really well was kept the shape. They do move the ball around so well, don't they? And you do have to be so disciplined. And I thought we did that in the opening 10 or 15.
Yeah, I think obviously they've had some nice couple of weeks away or a week away, haven't they? And in the nice bit of warm weather training and a couple of easy games to become the World Cup champions, and
deservedly as well. To be fair.
They looked early on like the switch had been flicked. Do you know what I mean? They looked like a team that was almost like this was the beginning of the second half of the season for them, and they needed to start putting teams to bed. And I thought he started with a real purpose, and obviously Pickford made a double save early on, which, you know, certainly the second one was a really good save. But we got through that, and we just started to grow a little bit into the game and take a few more chances and get maybe press a little bit higher up the pitches, which is what we do generally, isn't it? It's what we do when we get through the first. Let's say what went wrong at Spurs was not getting through the first 20 minutes. We normally feel our way into a game and just figure out where we can, where we can get joy. And we started to grow into the game, and as I said, just say they're such a good side. You can't take loads of chances, because it's almost like saying to the guy next to me, it's almost like they make mistakes on purpose, I think, at times. It's like to draw you in, or they play a ball half a yard short to just suck you into the space, and then they utilise the space so well. They're so good, and I think that's what you forget sometimes when you're playing in this league, is you're playing in a competition where you are playing against teams that are, let's be honest, they're just so much better than you, and you have to deal with it. And I think we forget that sometimes as football fans, certainly as Everton fans. They've just been crowned world champions, and I'm not like crying it in for why we got beat, but They are like they just bought a 15-year-old kid for 25 million quid or something. It's daft. It's daft like that. That how some of the players we were playing against. I don't think I've ever seen a gap so big in football in terms of the haves and the have-nots, and we were really up against it last night, and it became evident as the game went on. But certainly that first half, I thought we did really well.
Yeah, it is tough, isn't it? Because obviously you're home. I think I said this talking to Andy, the lad next to me, and I'm saying to me mate walking back the car, is that the difference. I've watched football for a long time. We both have. I don't think I've ever seen a team like Manchester City.
No.
And that isn't I've seen world-class Liverpool teams who've been incredible. I'm talking like teams in the 80s and just outstanding Liverpool sides. Arsenal with the Invincibles, tremendous. Manchester United, unbelievable. The Chelsea machine under Mourinho, the relentlessness of them. But I don't think I've ever seen a team like Manchester City. And what I mean by that is, all of those other great teams that I've talked about, football's changed as well, don't get me wrong, football's changed as well, but all of those teams I've talked about, you could pull them into a certain type of game. Now, sometimes their quality would still override you, but you would pull them into a game, an emotional game it might have been, where they start being rash or you feel like they're under the cosh. I don't think with this Manchester City team, they can get involved. I think they are so robotic in what they do that even when you get a head of steam up, they are world class at taking the steam out the game. Doesn't mean they win every game, but I just think it's becoming more and more difficult to knock them off the guard
because
in them kind of
also
games.
that's because the rules of football.
No, that's
like
what I mean. It has changed.
We all the fans want a game to be a certain way.
Legacy fans, Ped. Legacy fans.
You want challenges. You want to leave one in on one. It happens when you're playing in the derby. Just leave one in, get one in. You can't do it. You can't. So the game is so in their favour now that with VAR as well. So you can't do the sly ones. You can't do ones that you can get away with. You can't even handball it in the box anymore. No, you can't.
More on that later.
You can't get away with anything. So why wouldn't you, if you're a good football team, have that confidence to just go? They can't physically touch us. They can't kick us. They can't do anything off the ball. They can't say they're going to do that. And also, I'll be honest, I wouldn't pick a fight with someone like Rodri anyway. No, the size of the.
No, but I just mean even.
Yeah, but that gives you. That would
get it right.
That would give you confidence.
You're right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. What you're saying, the rules have changed and all that. That's fine. And listen, we're talking about a team who has had to do this in the past to live with the best teams as well. City haven't been they're tremendous now, but they haven't always been. But I just don't think. I think some teams would wilt sometimes with the atmosphere and stuff.
No, that's
what I mean by they're almost emotionless.
No,
they're brilliantly coached.
I've said this for years, and people can take it in different ways or take it out however they think about it. When we've sat here, or when anyone sits down and says and gives an opinion on football, or they're at a game and there's a certain atmosphere, or people have gone, you shouldn't boo your own players and all this kind of thing. I have always just said, if they can't take it, they're not cut for the highest level, and I mean the highest level.
Of course, yeah.
If you've got to have a mental toughness to be a footballer at the highest level. Yeah. Every single player who plays at the highest level, who's won things or is trying to win things, has to have a mental toughness, so that gets you over the line. So that almost like when one game's finished, it's done, it's in the bin. Fans don't have that mental toughness. We just don't, because we can't because we're emotionally attached. It sticks with. Footballers have to go, that's done, or they have to go to a game where the atmosphere is incredible. How do you deal with that? How do you walk in? And you're absolutely right that they looked like last night like it's a machine. Pep Guardiola actually said that after the game in his post match. He said when we were on the plane on the way back, the players were all talking about the Everton game, and he was like, "That's what I want." Yeah. He was like, "That's the mental attitude, not
typical us that we get." Yeah. Why couldn't he just talk about the next game? Yeah. Why was it our bleeding?
So they're not sitting there going, "We just won the World Championship," patting each other on the back. They're going, "Right, the next one. What's the next one, and what's the one, and then what's the one after that?" And that's what you have to be the best, and they are the best. And you know, I was just looking at the bench there as well. You know, they were out last night. You know, 3, 4 of their.
See, that what gave me a little bit of, going into it.
Yeah,
no, you know, listen, I said this walking into the ground, and people might have a go at me for this. I said, talking to me, me walking in, I was like, you know what? This is the only home game of the season where I don't think Everton have got a chance of winning. And I said we might still win. It's just in my, because I am positive, and I think, you know what? If we can, with the Liverpool have been amazing, but I still look and think we can beat these. United, Arsenal, whatever. Arsenal, excellent, and I still think we'll beat them, and we do most years. This year we didn't. But these, because they are so robotic, and like you said, I seen Rodri the other day come off with an injury in that World Club thing, and he went, I'll be back for the Everton game, and I was like, mate, stop it. Have a little break.
Yeah.
But these are so, the way they play, the way they are, they've got the best manager in the world. They are really difficult to play against.
They were without maybe 3, 4 of their best players last night.
But that was my point. I seen, like, because they were talking about Haaland always being saying thing. And then I seen a team like no Doku, no Haaland, no Kevin De Bruyne, thank God. And you look and thinking, right, they haven't really got forward players to change it. They've got Oscar Bob, who looks like a cracking young player. They've got the other, Mika Hamilton, is it, the other kid? But there's just too much. But
saying
quality.
that though, you look at their bench last night, I think 5 of their bench would get into our team.
Absolutely.
So you're talking about, and also the bench was actually quite like workmanlike for them. So you're looking at players you can just go and fit in. But actually, I looked at that last night and I was, this will sound stupid, but I think someone like Tarkowski would have fancied playing more against the Haaland than Alvarez.
Where was Foden playing? I said this last
night.
Where
was John Stones playing?
Where was Alvarez? There was one. We had. Was it the first half or the second half? They were attacking the street. It was the first half. They had the corner. We cleared it, and Alvarez was on the halfway line and picked it up and got it. And I went around the lad there. I went, he's their centre forward. Look where he is. He's next to the centre back on the halfway line.
Smallest player.
So we just put him on.
John Stones. I've seen John Stones is playing in centre midfield. Who's supposed to pick him up? You know, because he's playing in centre midfield.
He started off in a back three, but he went into the middle.
But that's what I'm saying. So who's supposed to pick him up?
And he's a joke, by the way, Kyle Walker, 185, gets faster every year I see him. He's unbelievable.
You've got all these amazing players playing in all different kinds of positions. You've got no centre forward. You've got Rodri, who could have been wearing slippers last night. You've got Bernardo Silva, who seems to just get better. You just like, you don't see him for 6 months, and then he comes back and just plays a load of games. And
I thought Michalenko did all.
No, he did. Really, but what I'm saying is that you're playing against all this, and you're playing against all this incredible talent. We're on our arse. We've got no Decore who you can obviously see when he's not playing what a difference he makes to the team.
As he is at times,
but he makes the team for us. You've got Andre Gomez trying to play 3 days after he's just played 70 minutes for us after not playing for 6 months or whatever it is.
Well, he hasn't played in the Premier League for
exactly. You've got like a patched up team. It's that's the real struggle, isn't it? And
we'd have had half a chance if we'd have had all of our players available. Yeah, but I think when Everton have the best 11,
but that's the point, isn't it? You need your best 11, and you need the best 11 to be at their best, and you need them to be off it a little bit. And they just weren't. They were, as you said, they were just robotic in what they did. And you can see it. They just keep doing.
They don't panic, do
they? They don't panic. There's no emotion. It's all training ground stuff. Jack Grealish. I was watching Jack Grealish. He's just doing the same thing all the time. He never diverted. He doesn't do anything that he did at Villa, as in trying to take the ball and doing his own game. It's all what's been drilled into him by the manager. You don't play for yourself. You play for us. I was watching like Foden making runs, and all the runs was to allow the player on the outside of him, who was Bernardo Silva at times, to have the space, because Michalenko was going to follow.
Yeah.
And this is something we've seen loads of times where if you watch the documentary, the Barcelona Thierry Henry just saying all I did was make runs. I never got the ball, but I was told make a run, create space for the three in the middle, and then they make space for everyone then because they've got the ball. And you're watching this just machine, and you understand why in the second half of the season they just wear teams down, and they just get on these runs. And And for as much as I've seen, go on our comments, I was looking on Facebook, oh my God, some of the takes on Facebook are just unbelievable. And it's like, you're watching a game and you can't, no one can tell me last night that all of our players didn't give everything. No, but I'm afraid everything just isn't enough. It just isn't enough against a team like that. And maybe people be watching this going, God, you're a sycophant or something for City. But certainly for what I'm trying to do is just look at it and go, we've got a squad of 14 players, essentially. We've got players missing. We've got players who have played every game, nearly every minute of every game. They look knackered. And yet this Man City team has just rolled in and that's what they do. And it's no shock that on the hour mark, they just took the game away from us and just went, or certainly they started the second half going, nah, you've had your little bit of fun now, lads. We'll take over. And it was there for everyone to see. And they did. And we had that little bit of fun in the first half. And they took over. And that's there's no point, is there really, like sitting here dwelling on going, oh, what could we have done better?
No, I think what we did do, we grew into that first half. We were closing them down brilliantly. Like you said, we got through that moment where Pickford made the double save. And we did reduce them to nothing, really. Because we were working so hard and we broke and we went hunting in packs. I mean, we'd had an attempt to goal in the opening 40 seconds. Beto had the header, which he headed wide.
Yeah, attempt at goal is...
Well, you know, a cross come in and he headed it goal, that's an attempt at goal. But we did start putting them under pressure and we got the goal from it, and it was really, really good pressing from the front by us and hurried them into a mistake. And we'll have a look here, and Ed's going to put it on for us now. So this is them playing the ball out, and we've got, if you look there, Evan, excuse me, 5 players. James Garner runs at Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva slips, tries to keep it in and can't. It comes back to Garner. He turns, and now Everton are ready to spring them. He plays a ball in to the edge of the box, and really, next, Beto stops it. He should have let it run to Andre Gomez, who was in, but it hits him, and Everton get players around the ball. Rodri picks it up next. Rodri picks it up. Dwight McNeil just has a little feel of him, and Rodri throws himself to the floor, but he's already flicked the ball into where McNeil wanted the ball to go. We see McNeil, now we're springing it. We've got Jack Harris and Beto trying to get in there. Gomez is there as well. Dwight McNeil throws it across. Jack Harrison's made a brilliant run, excuse me, and it's a lovely little guided side foot finish with the angle. Just used his body to get the angle across, and it's in the back of the net. And it was a brilliant goal, and it was that going hunting and pressing from the front, and we do that well when Decore's in there, but I thought we did that really well, and it unsettled them, and obviously we take the lead, and for a little bit we were the best team in the world, weren't we? Beating the best team in the world, so you know, but that was really good, and that was a good example of when we do press from the front with everybody, we can cause teams issues, even the best team in the land, best team in the world.
That's what we've been doing, isn't it, of late, and we've seen that of late, and yeah, it was a good goal, forcing them into mistakes, and Harrison obviously scoring against his former team, or his former conglomerate, playing for New York as well. But no, it was just brilliantly timed, and it was a nice little spell. And obviously afterwards, Harrison's had another one where,
well, we'll see that, because this to me was a match-winning save by Ederson. Everton get a corner. It's a ball in by Andre Gomez. It's a deep one. It drops down, and Jack Harrison, you can see here, striking the ball goalwards. The next one is it's left his foot. It's gone past Onana's head, and at the time you're thinking, this has got a chance. And then Ederson makes a good save, and it's only on the stilt, and he pushes it out of danger. It goes off another corner. But look at this one. It is fingertips from Ederson, a couple of inches higher, and it's 2-0. And I honestly believe at 2-0, you're asking them really, really big questions, aren't you? But what's happened is their goalkeepers come up hugely when they've needed them to. It's a brilliant save, and it kept them in the game, if you like, because it doesn't matter how good they are. Everton with a 2-goal lead, sitting back.
Yeah, low block.
you've given yourself a chance, but that was a pivotal moment in the game.
That's it, isn't it? It comes down to moments like that, games like these. You've got to take your chances. Or it was a great effort from Jack Harrison, and it was a really good spell from him. And that goes in. It's obviously Sean Dyche gets to then dictate what his tactics are going to be, and Pep Guardiola's got to change it round and look for more. You don't have that patience then, because you've got to go and search for that goal. Yeah. It's a huge moment. It's a big save. They're the moments in games like this, aren't they? They're the moments that if you take them, or it takes, even if it takes a little deflection or whatever, it's that little bit of rub of the green, isn't it, that you need against those big sides.
So we went in 1-0 up at half-time, and it was like, a lot of people around me if we can hang on, and all this, and I'm like, they will come out different, the manager, it's what we can, how can we react? Yeah. And David, Pep Guardiola, would have them fired. He was never just going to sit on his hands, was he? And like you said, they have got to flick a switch. They like being behind. And in the league now, Liverpool are doing so well, and Arsenal and Aston Villa. I know Villa had lost the night before, but Villa are still doing well, and Spurs are starting to win. So City have to make their move. So I knew they were going to come out strong second half. And they did. They came out and they were on the front foot straight away. And we got past the first 5 minutes, which is always a dangerous time for Everton, just after half-time. Yeah. But they were starting to dictate the play. And we just didn't seem to be able to get as close to them as we were in the first half. And that was probably a bit of tiredness against the currently the best team in the world. We'll see whether they end up league champions, but they are currently champions, and they dictate the play. They are. It's the relentless,
and that must be horrible to play against, knowing that you've got to be perfect for 90 minutes. You've got to keep doing that job, and if you switch off, and that's the way we just mentioned it then. The way they play is to keep probing the same things again and again and again, and not to deviate from it. Because actually, if you keep doing the same thing again and again and again, you're going to get results at the end of it. And that's all they keep doing, because they know that the way they do things is right. And they know they've got the players to do it the right way. Yeah. And it's, you watch us, or you watch a normal team, not picking on us, you watch a normal team, it's like, there's, Jack Harrison or Dwight McNeil will never. There's no set way of them doing things. No. Sometimes McNeil will go outside and throw a cross in, and sometimes he'll come inside, and Jack Harrison will do the same thing. Or but Grealish. I was watching Grealish. He was just doing the same thing again and again and again, and it was relentless. And all they're doing is going, "I'm going to get you, because I know I'm better than you." So you might win this battle 9 times out of 10, but that one time I'm going to do something, and it's going to click. We're going to score from it, and that's what they do, and that's why as a player it must be horrible, because you're like, I've got to do this job for 90 minutes, and I've got to be perfect, because if I'm not perfect once, they will score, because they're that good. And
this is what happened.
And that's what happened. Yeah.
They got a corner. They take it short, so we've just got some of the stills here. They take it short. They pass it, again, it just comes along, we take it on, it goes out to Grealish from the first one. Everton are in good shape here, actually, got a lot of bodies behind the ball. Grealish plays it back to Foden, and we just carry it on net, it goes back out again. Nathan Patterson is doing the closing down job. But the problem Patterson has here is Alvarez wanders to the edge of the box, so Patterson have got him circled, goes with him to mark him. Now, I don't know what they've worked on in training, but once City have bodies wandering into the box, you have to go with them. We see it in the next one, we take it on. Patterson has now got to pass Alvarez on, because no one's gone out to Phil Foden. So Patterson now has a 20-yard gap to make up. So he steams out, we take it on one, and you can see he just can't get close enough. No. Beto stands still. We see the next one, the shot left Foden's foot, and Beto's leaning. But Jordan Pickford, on the last one, you couldn't see it, but he takes a step to the right, and I don't know why he does, but he leaves himself too much space. It comes past Beto, and he gets nowhere near it, and it's in at the near post. Now, I've seen people saying, well, it doesn't matter what Pickford does, he kept us up the last 2 seasons. I don't really think you can use that argument. We're just talking about individual games. He saved us in the first half, 2 great saves. I think when he looks at that, Jordan, he'll be disappointed getting beaten from that far on his near post. He will. He left too much of a gap. Players make mistakes.
He probably thinks that he's going to care, and he's made that step. But it's killed him. It's killed him. It's killed him.
A great strike, don't get me wrong.
When I watched it in real time, being at the game, I did think, how's he beat him from there?
I did.
There's no backlift at all. I mean, that's the thing that's probably beat him, is there's no backlift. But I did think, how's he beating him from there? But it was so instantaneous.
Yeah, no, he just did.
It was so instantaneous. It was a great strike. And you've worked so hard to shut off the passing lanes and then that's the other side of it.
Like, what do you do? Like, what? I don't really know what else we could do.
I know.
Patterson's gone with Alvarez.
But that's what we're talking about. It's the quality.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. You've stopped them every way you think you can. And then
he bangs
one of their players just bangs one from 20
Because we saw that earlier in the season against Arsenal, didn't we? Yeah. We'd cut them all day, and the one time off a corner, someone got free, it ends up in the net, and you've lost the game. And that was past us. We dug in a little bit, and the manager's about to make a change because he wanted to go to 3 at the back, and then City go and get a penalty, and he got a corner, and I actually think this is a mistake by Jordan Pickford, the second one.
Yeah.
If you watch the corner comes in, I've got him circled here, he's going up as if he's going to catch the ball. And if you watch it, there's no real pressure from, I think it might be Nathan Ake, there's no real pressure on him. And he opts to punch it. Now, if you look, we've got the second one. He punches the ball down into the middle of the penalty area. You take it on again, Ned. You see Phil Foden running onto it. That ball's straight. He's just flapped at it. Goes on to Foden, who strikes it. James Garner gets the first block. And then it becomes a contentious moment, I guess. It comes to Nathan Ake. Now, Amadou Onana, you can see here, he's just thinking about a block.
Yeah.
Take it on one, and that's his arm where it strikes it. And that is him protecting his face now by, I don't know, the letter of the law. You see, from my rules, and we've discussed this many times on this, if it hits your, all right, now that's not. If it hits your hand in the box, make it a penalty then, because then you take away well, was it intentional, wasn't it? It's black and white. But that isn't the rule, Oped. No. That isn't the rule. The rule is down to interpretation. So if you're looking at that, Amadou Onana is here going to block his face as he's throwing himself. I don't think you can jump like this through midair.
No.
I just don't think that's possible. So that is you're naturally going to block your face. If his hand's like that, it's a penalty all day long. The manager thought it was harsh. At the time, I thought it hit his hand, thought it's a penalty, it hit his hand. I've watched it again and again this morning, and now I'm thinking, I get it when you freeze it and go, does it hit his hand? Yeah. But if we're still leaving the rule to interpretation, then Liverpool didn't get a penalty the other day for Odegaard having a game of basketball in the box. So how was that less of what Onana was doing? I don't know.
I mean, first of all, I agree with John Pickford. I think he should have been stronger from the...
I think he should have just caught it.
I think he should have been stronger on that, and he should have dealt with it. When I watched, again, being there last night, the way they shouted for it, I thought this must be...
But the ref gave a corner, and 6 of them jumped in his face.
I mean, that's obviously big play, and I thought, this must be a pen. But I've gone back and watched it again. And I look at it, and the more I look at it, this thing about natural position, I've said this loads of time, right? If your arm's still attached to your shoulder, then it's in a natural position. Genuine, like...
But that isn't.
No, I know, I get that.
But I think that is...
What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Like, unless they go and take a ball and put all the dots on people and do like a biomechanical thing where they strike balls at people and see how they react to it. I don't know about you, but if someone smacked the ball at me, my natural thing would be to do that. And that's natural. You can't. No one jumps like that.
What did he do in a wall? What's your body shape in a wall? Well, like this is dead basic. Like, but when I was at Everton, we were a blocker for free kicks. Like, we were told to jump like this. This is how we were told to jump. So you protect your face, because if you're not going to jump like that, no one is offering.
But to be fair though, That's when they had the lace in
They
it.
did have the laces, and black and white and all, right? But that's from a young age you were taught that. So all the way through, when you're playing football, anyone who plays it now, they're not. We're talking about head injuries and ball trauma, so no one's going to say, jump at a ball with your face. You're always naturally going to do that.
I look at it, right, and I understand the rule. But, like, I'm fully prepared to say, I fully understand. Michael Keane's at Anfield, his handball, right? Sticks his hand out.
100% penalty.
He blocks the ball from going. But that, to me, it's like cricket. It's like before wicket. It's that when you do that, it's like, where's it going to hit him if it doesn't hit his arm? It's going to hit him in the head. It's going to hit him in the head. I've seen people, why? Like, do you honestly, the ball is struck from a yard away. It's a natural thing to put. He's not trying to gain an advantage. Handball, let's remember what handball was there for. Handball was there, would have been brought in as a rule. As in, like, you're allowed to touch it with your feet, but you're not allowed to touch it with your hand. It's a rule. And it's been mutated into something now where it will eventually end up with, if it strikes your hand in the box, then it's a penalty. But it shouldn't be there. That's not what handball is. It really isn't. Handball is there so you don't pick the ball up. That's literally what.
Put it out and stop.
You know, that's
the line.
That's literally why it was brought in. And now we're in a position again where.
Well, we've heard the Skeletons say today that it's a modern day penalty.
It's not though.
What annoys me with it, right? Listen, when you stop it, if someone says to me, did it hit his hand? Like, if someone's arguing and go, did it hit his hand? Then I would say, yeah, it did, right? And I've said before, if you want to get rid of any arguments over it, make it, if it hits your hand, that's a penalty then. Make that rule then. Make it black and white and it's done. And we all know, it hits your hand, that's a penalty. But that isn't the rule. And on Saturday, in a game, that might happen and you won't get the penalty for it. Because the referee will look at it and go, no, because it's a block. But it happened last night. And that's where I have a problem with it. Did it hit his hand? Yes. But that's a block. That is, you're trying to block a ball. If Onana goes like that, 100% penalty. Michael Keane at Anfield, 100% penalty. Arms out, stop the flight of a ball, penalty.
Yeah.
The problem is you get them some weeks and you don't get them other weeks. Like I've just said, I don't want Liverpool getting penalties, but that Odegaard one the other day.
Is that outside his silhouette? Because to me, it's not outside his silhouette because it's going to hit him in the head.
But if you're blocking like that to me is, we've seen penalties that could just not be given. Remember Delhi a few years ago for Spurs? Just basically jump and handballed it away, and they said his arm's is in a natural position.
But what they're basically saying there is that it's a penalty because he's put his arm up. Like, that's what they're saying, aren't they? They're not. But that's a natural thing to do. We'd all do it. We've all got a different, like, flinch, like, barometer, haven't we? If a ball's coming towards my face, your thing is to do that, because if you do that, you know that it's handball. But if you do that, you think, well, there's something in that.
Well, you're just blocking it. You know what, mate? I don't even think you can think that quickly.
No, I don't.
You see a ball, so you just go like that naturally, because you're trying to. If someone throws something at you, you don't go like that. You go like that.
But what's worse is with the technology. Like, I understand. Again, the silhouette thing is a good way of looking at it, because if you're a referee and you look at it in real time, that gives you a thing of the ball was over there.
Yeah,
and
I think that is a penalty.
With VAR, surely again it's a thing where you look at it and go, well, I don't really need to worry about this as a ref, because the VAR will confirm to me what I've just saw.
The referee's watching it right in real time, and the referee gave a corner. Yeah. Right, he went like that and gave a corner. The linesman stood over there with all sorts of bodies, because of their reaction, waved and give a penalty. But that is a clear and obvious mistake. They've said at the end, Sean Dyche said, well, the referee and team give the decision. But he should have gone the screen for that, I think.
I just don't think it's a penalty.
No, but I think he should have gone the screen and looked at it.
He would have given anyway.
Of course, once they go the screen. But I don't know. Anyway,
I just don't think it's a penalty. I just don't. And that's not me being, like, just looking through an Everton lens.
No.
I know what's a penalty. If he put his hand down there and it hits him there, it's a penalty.
I think even if he did put his hand here or here.
But his hand is not. If his hand is there,
arched though.
His hand is there. What was it? Ashley Williams against Crystal Palace, wasn't it? 2018.
Yeah.
Hands there. Hits him. Yeah. You block the ball from going in. It's a penalty.
Yeah, yeah,
but there, I'm just a yard away.
And you're trying to save your face, aren't you?
I'm just. But, to me, that's just not a penalty. And again, it's that thing now where the game is just gone so far with these rules, where the rule used to be over there, and it used to probably be, you're not allowed to pick it up, because that's what you kick it, he handball, he picks it up because he's the goalie, and that was I imagine that was the rule
what it was for,
when it was first brought in.
Yeah. And it will change.
But it's been mutated to the point where now it's going to be if it just hits your hand.
Yeah, but at least, my arguments with, I'm not, again, the reason why I wanted that rule, black and white, is so we all know. Yeah, because interpretation was the word. But they're now not even interpreting it. No. Now they're just saying, well, it's a penalty. But my argument with this is, that same decision won't be given every week. If it was, if every game where that happened, there was a penalty, you'd turn around after a bit and go, that's a penalty, it's what's given nowadays. But I've just seen one at Anfield the other day, and like I said before, I don't want Liverpool getting penalties, they get enough. But Odegaard put his hand and stopped the ball in the box with his hand when it was travelling. That was more of a penalty than what that was last night. But anyway, listen, they give it. Julian Alvarez scored it and through Pickford's legs, and they were in front, and it was obviously you're behind against a good side when we're so stretched. The manager took Beto off. I wouldn't have took Beto off personally. I'd have left them with Dom and gone, we're going 3-5-2, so we're changing it slightly. Beto was having a decent bit of success getting backing into Akanji, and I think that would have given Dom a little bit more freedom as well. And I think the manager, in my opinion, last night should have tried that. We were 2-1 down. He should have at least gone, we'll go with it for another 10 minutes and just see if whether we can not rough them up, but whether we can back into them and get. And he didn't really. But Everton did stay in the game. And this is what I think what you started off saying was like, our players give everything. They're just, this isn't, like people might moan about this, but the reality is we just don't have enough quality. No. We've got all the heart and endeavour. It's there in buckets. Everyone. Michael Keane come on, can't tell me he didn't give everything. He did. You know, Dom come on and give everything. But the quality levels just aren't there. Our quality, certainly in the final third, Jack Harrison, Dwight McNeil give everything, but the quality levels have dropped over the years. And we used to have players like Richarlison, and we've had Lukaku in the past, Morales, Barkley, Delafeu, them kind of players with an extra level. We haven't got that. What we've got now is really hard-working players. But against them, you need that extra bit of quality. However, we did create a really good chance at 2-1. We'll just quickly look at it now. It's a Pickford switch, and Nathan Patterson just volleys this into that space, which is brilliant. A great run by Harrison. Drops it in. Harrison goes off. We've got Dom in the middle there. Jack Harrison does really well, throws it across. We've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the middle of the 6-yard box, and he gets there ahead. And what we saw from Jack Harrison in the first half, he just used his body angle to steer the ball past Ederson. Dom comes to square on for it. We see it. He's got the ball past Ederson. That's the wrong one. That was that one there. He got it past Ederson. And then on the next one, we see how close it is. As see, he's got a header defender and a head of Ederson, and the ball just goes the wrong side of the post. And I think if he could have just angled his foot, he'd have scored. It'd have been 2-2, and there's 15 minutes to go there. Well, it would have been 20 with the injury time, but you wonder at 2-2 with the crowd and a bit of momentum whether Everton might have hung on and got a point, whether Everton might have actually gone on and won the game. But they're huge moments, aren't they, against a good side like that?
It's a big chance, isn't it? And Dom just runs straight onto it and never changes the angle of his foot. No. Never opens his body up. No. And again, I don't know where the player behind him was so close to him. I think the commentators thought that it was a corner. So maybe that had something to do with it. But I think Dom, I don't know whether, I think a confident Dominic Calvert-Lewin puts that in.
Angles it.
He angles it. I think what he's got to do there is, or what I think a top professional would say is, he's got to slow everything down, hasn't he? He's got to slow it down and do what he wants to do. And when you're in form, and when you're scoring goals, you do that. Everything comes natural, and you feel like you've got extra time, and you just flick it, or you just open your body up, or whatever it is. And as I said, someone who's in form at the moment would do that, and Ollie Watkins or whoever would do that. Or someone who's just a top level, who doesn't need that. But he's gone straight onto it, and it's gone out, and that's where we are at the moment. That's what you need. A dominant Solanke at score with
yeah, he's flying.
You know what I mean? Like someone like that someone who's absolutely banging form would just flicks that in. But Dom's not, and it's that thing of it coincides, unfortunately, when we've lost our top goal scorer and our main striker's just got no confidence and isn't in form. And Beto doesn't seem to get into those areas for those chances either. So, and it's one chance we're talking about. We're not talking about, we had this chance and that chance. It's one chance, isn't it?
The moment, isn't it?
It's that one moment, which, again, you have to take. Yeah. If you're going to get anything from these games, like the Harrison one, people go, it's amazing, Saints against Everton. But it has to go in to win these kind of games. And that's the difference, isn't it? Because they make chances all night, and we get 2 or 3, and you have to take at least 2 of them if you're going to win the game.
He's got to hit the target for me, and it is that thing. If there was one, I should have got the still. There's one where the ball's almost at his foot, and Ederson's going, and you can see if he just angles it, it's a goal, because Ederson just can't get. There's a lot of goal to aim for, and he hits it almost square on, so it just goes back. Yeah. That's just a little flick, but that was the moment, and that's just the way it is. And when teams get results against the likes of City, they take them chances, however it is. But listen, that still give me the belief that, you know what, it's only 2-1 and we get a corner or whatever. And then we go and give a third goal away, and Jordan Pickford, not his finest moment. The ball's knocked back to him, and I've done the arrow there of what he normally does so well, Jordan. He strikes through the ball up to the halfway line. And for some reason, he doesn't take it first time, and I just don't understand it, because he takes the next one. He takes a touch, and it's such a bad touch, it goes away from him, that it gives, I think it's Alvarez, the opportunity to close him down. He ends up striking it against Alvarez's foot, take it on there. Alvarez's foot. It then hits Branthwaite on the next one, and it opens up for Bernardo Silva. And if you see from the next one, he's got the whole goal to aim at. And he just dinks it over Pickford. He can't get back. And that was it. Excuse me. Game, set and match for City. And against a really good side, well, top side, you can't give them opportunities because they punish you. And we've ended up making... Sean Dyche talked about details. The first goal was probably details. I think certainly Jordan on the second and third goal, he'll talk about his own details that he can do better, and they've punished us sadly, and that's what happens. But like you said before, I don't think it is frustrating, and I hate Everton losing any home game, and our home form is poor. It's about halfway through the season, we've won 3 home games, but last night was about quality versus a team who's stretched. I didn't come out thinking that I joked them. We've done really well in the first half. We stuck to the game plan. We looked jaded in the second half, and that is the team that probably, maybe Arsenal as well, the 2 teams you don't want to be jaded against, because they just keep doing what they're doing. And when you're tired and you haven't got your best weapons, as in Decore's our top scorer, and he plays that role so well, and it becomes difficult. And we've played a lot of football lately, and we did say that December would test us, and we started it brilliantly. We'd had 4 wins on the run, and you know, the Fulham game in the Cup, you just started to see a little bit of wariness. We should have got a draw at the weekend. Last night, in other circumstances, we might have got something, but I don't think it's the time for people to go all in and everything's terrible. Yeah, Luton have won a couple of games and it's tight again, but we've still won 8 this season, and that's what we have to keep in mind. The league table will always be something that we focus on. But if we do bear in mind where we really are, and I know it's difficult, and I know people don't like to hear it, and they're right, we all should be treating it like we're not getting any points back. But that shouldn't take away from a team that we really are, which is a mid-table side, I think.
We should be 10th. We've earned 26 points. Doesn't matter what anyone says about where we are is where we are. but we've actually earned 26 points. You haven't took the victories off us. That's what we've earned, and if we can match that in the second half of the season, you know, we have to win 3 more games, don't we? Really, you know, and get a draw, then what we would have. So that's where we are at the moment. And yeah, listen, you look at the weekend and you're a bit like going away to a team that have just hit a bit of form. It's not great, and we could well end up back in the bottom 3. We could, but I tell you what, I didn't think we were getting 12 points from December, and I'd be made up if we could get another point at least. So I think we've lost the 2 games that we all thought, well, we probably will lose these 2 games, and so it's saying, you know, it's when you look at us, like we played for half 45 minutes last night, or certainly for nearly 70 minutes on Saturday. We're a half decent team, and if we keep that going, hopefully we'll finish. It's not with the 10 points. If that remains, it's not going to be comfortable. No, but we'll match most teams on our day because the Premier League is full of very winnable games. And there's a handful of teams that they're well above our level. And on Sundays you get that second goal maybe, and you beat those teams. But it's just, I'll be honest, I'd rather be a little bit depleted against the Manchester City than to be depleted against Burnley or Forest.
Games that we have to win. Do you know what I mean? I know that might come out sounding negative, but we could have had our best team out last night and still got beat by Man City easily. So I'd rather have beaten a Burnley. I'd rather have beaten a Forest. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So, and they're the ones we have to concentrate on. And
for me right now, I think we're in. If we really wanted to still it down and go, right, we're 1 point above Luton, we're in a fight with Luton. That's what I think. Burnley and Sheffield United are gone. I really do. I look at Luton and I go, I'm still not sure they'll get more than 30 points, but they might. But we're in a fight with them, and there's Palace are in there, Forest aren't out of it, and teams like that. Don't get me wrong, right? So I look at that and I go, well, we've won 8, and Luton have won 3 or 4. So Luton have had an unbelievable run lately, but can they repeat that and more for the second half of the season? I'm not convinced. Can we? I still think we can win 4 or 5 more games this season, which gives us another 15 points, and then draws and stuff. That's without any back, and we might still end up with some points back. So it's disappointing. I hate losing football matches, I do, but I still think we've seen enough in this first half of the season to know that we're a decent side, and we will fall short some days on quality. That's just the way it is. But we're right in the scrap. And bar Villa away, and Arsenal, we didn't really lay a glove on them, but we stuck to the task. We've been competitive in almost every game we've played. Some we've lost, which we shouldn't have done. That's just football, isn't it? That's just the way it is. So if we can do the same in the second half of the season, excuse me, I think we'll be fine. And that's what we have to remember. And I think the fans in the main do. I think the fans stuck with the team last night, as disappointing as it ended up. You come out of it, the frustration for me was we couldn't match the second half, what we did in the first. But that's just the way it is. And listen, get through Saturday, it'll be a tough game, but they don't have anywhere near the quality of City. So it'll be a different game again. And let's hope we can get a positive result. Let's have a look at Jack Harrison. I thought he done all right last night. Got his goal, 22 touches, had 2 shots, 1 goal, 1 key passes. His cross percentage net, 50% was it? He did put that chance on a play for Dom. If Dom knocks that in, he gets a goal and an assist. And he worked hard last night. Jack Harrison, I think what you get off him is a little bit up and down. Throughout the game, he does some really good stuff and some other stuff. I think if he simplifies his game, there was one in the first half where Patterson went steaming past him, and he should have just knocked it into space, and he ends up holding on and losing the ball, and then we get spun. It's moments like that. But I really like Jack Harrison. I think he's a hard-working kid, and I think he's been a good addition this season so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Balances the team out, doesn't he? And you know, again, got a goal last night. He's his goals, assists, And when you think what else there really is in the squad, there's not a lot. No. So, no, he's done all right.
Let's have a look at the overall stuff from the game. Everton 1, Manchester City 3. 7 shots for Everton, 23 for City. 2 on target for the Blues, 9 for Manchester City. 2 big chances for Everton, 4 for City, and 28% for Everton against Manchester City. That's not bad. It's below our sweet spot, which the result will tell you, but 28% against City for us. Listen, we've had less than that, haven't we? We've had less than that against Brighton at home, so there's an improvement. But listen, there you go. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Can we bounce back against Wolves? Are you feeling at almost the halfway stage? Are you feeling more confident? You think we'll be all right? Let us know in the comments section below. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. We're carrying on Premier now. If you want to become a Toffee TV Premier member, link in the description. QR code will be on the screen now. Thanks for watching, and see you later.